Timmy and the Purple Bug. Chapter 1. The House of Fear. The big, fat, giant purple beetle bug crawled across the pillow and onto little Timmy's face and hissed, "I'm going to gobble you up, hee hee hee." In his brightly colored yellow PJs, Timmy jumped out of bed, ran through the halls, and pleaded with his paw, "Help! There is a giant bug attacking our home." But his father said, "Timmy, I am busy. Go bother your ma." His mother scolded, "Silly boy, there is no giant bug in your bedroom. Stop making up stories. Go back to your room and put your clothes on." Back in the room, Timmy saw the bug, now crawling on the wall, saying, "Little Timmy, I will swallow this whole house in one gulp. Hee hee hee." Timmy dashed down the hall in a flash, then through the front door and finally into a country field where he encountered a tall gray sycamore tree. Chapter 2. The Backcountry of Fear. In horror, Timmy spotted a giant black moth bat with a monster face resting on the scaly gray tree bark. With a sinister snort, it threatened, "I am the bat moth. I will snatch you up with my 6 claws and spirit you away to my den in the sky. I will carry you off across the misty heavens and up through the mountains, where I will plop you down into my nest made of vulture bones. There, my hungry baby bat moth pups will crunch and munch you up." Timmy ran away from the white sycamore tree, across a vast field, and through a nearby woods, and up to the banks of a flowing river. All at once, the tranquil waters erupted into a spectacular splashing of frothy white torrents as the sleek, oily, juniper-green snouts of 2 monstrous water dragons, each adorned with rows of razor-sharp teeth, emerged from scaly, serpentine necks. As the rising waters subsided, the hideous dragons roared, "Little Timmy, we will gobble you up if you come any closer to our precious river." As Timmy cautiously backed away from the shores, he saw on the water's surface a river merboy, the size of a small child, dressed in yellow PJs and sporting golden hair. The merboy viciously berated little Timmy. "How dare you copy my appearance, you naughty little copycat? I ought to jump out of this river and beat you with a stick." Timmy tried to apologize, but before he could say anything, the tiny merboy continued his bullying. "What? You think you are better than me because you look exactly like me. I will hit you and kick you and hurt you." Timmy leaped backward, turned around and ran in the opposite direction from the river, fleeing the dragons and the merboy. Behind him, he heard the river dragons bellowing and the merboy laughing in a mocking chorus. "Look at the little chicken boy, running away." Upon hearing this, Timmy ran even faster, fearing for his life. As Timmy dashed through the woods, he suddenly encountered a monstrous black wolf dog. When the enormous wolf dog saw Timmy running, it growled, "Little boy, I will chase you down, catch you, and eat you." Timmy fled through the woods in terror as the wolf dog chased after him. Timmy ran out of the dark woods, across a vast field, and continued running until he saw a field of giant yellow sunflowers. Chapter 3. The Field of Hope. When he had grown too tired to run anymore, he sat down, hid under the giant yellow flowers, and cried, for he was all alone and afraid of a world that wanted to gobble him up. Then the sun began rising high in the sky. It looked down on the little boy hovering in fear under the petals of large sunflower tops. The sun felt sorry for the boy, but in a very stern voice scolded, "Little Timmy, what's the matter with you?" Timmy, too scared to look upwards, meekly spoke, "I am scared. A big wolf dog is chasing me." The sun laughed in a deep rumble, proclaiming, "Little Timmy, all you see before you in this great big field and beyond the field in the whole big round world lives and breathes because of the light and warmth I share. But even here in the fields, you cannot hide. All your fears are still with you and will eventually gobble you up unless you become a brave little soldier." Timmy hid his head in shame and cried, "Leave me alone." Then, his ears quickly perked in terror as he heard the wolf dog barking in the distance. "I am looking for you, little boy, and when I find you, I'm going to make you my next meal." Timmy wept in his fear and pleaded with the sun, "Please, great sun, come down from heaven and help me scare away the horrible wolf dog." Gently the sun counseled the little boy, "Timmy, I cannot leave my post here in the heavens. I must do my duty and bring light and warmth to all of creation. But I can give you one gift that will help you for the rest of your life. Timmy begged. Please help me. The sun intoned with great compassion. Timmy, I bestow your words with a magical power. They can change scary and bad things into good things that will help you. But you must never hurt anyone with the magic of your words. You must only use your words to make the world a better place. Timmy tried to explain to the sun that he didn't understand, but just then, the big black wolf dog found Timmy hiding under the sunflowers and dashed up before him, growling with its vicious fangs. And as Timmy cried in fear, the big white sun gently reminded Timmy, use your magic words. Desperate, Timmy yelled at the dog. You monster! You are nothing but a little puppy. You can't hurt me. Timmy closed his eyes. Poof! The big black monster dog instantly transformed into a little labradoodle puppy that ran up to little Timmy and began licking him on the face. Help! Said Timmy with his eyes still shut. The monster is eating me! Timmy opened his eyes and saw a little puppy excitedly jumping about. The puppy wagged his tail and asked, Little boy, can we be friends? Timmy cried, But are you going to eat me? The dog chirped, I am just a child like you, scared and far from my mother and family. Timmy was surprised and questioned the pup. Are you scared too? Yes, please protect me, pleaded the puppy. Timmy responded, But I am a little boy who can't hurt anyone. How can I protect you? Well, said the pup, you are much bigger than me. You can help me find my mother. Timmy looked to the sun and nervously requested, Beautiful sun, I beg that you turn me into a giant so I can fight monsters and help this little puppy find its mother. The sun looked down at Timmy and said, Stand up, little boy. As Timmy rose, he saw that he was indeed a giant compared to the little puppy. Wow, my words are magic. Timmy picked up the dog and walked out of the sunflower field and towards the woods, carrying his little pup. As he walked through the woods and up to the river, he heard the river dragons laughing at him. Hey everyone! If you have enjoyed this video so far and found value in the discussion about courage, empathy, and imagination, give it a thumbs up. For more insightful content like this, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching so far, and now let's continue with the story. Chapter 4: The Boy Who Found Courage. We will devour you! The river dragons screamed as they splashed the water about them. He placed the puppy on the shore and walked up to the edge of the river where he saw the river merboy squawking at him. Look at the little sissy boy. You ready for your beating? Ha ha, Timmy proclaimed. I am not afraid of you, I am a giant. Timmy beat his chest and yelled like a warrior, River dragon and merboy, you do not scare me. He picked up a polished brown stone lying on the riverbank rock sand and said, This rock is a bomb. With all his might, he threw the rock bomb into the river. It splashed loudly before plunging to the depths of the water, forming rows of concentric waves that flowed across the water's surface. Timmy saw the ripples distort the merboy's image, and Timmy laughed mightily. Ha ha, said Timmy, I am not afraid of you. Suddenly the river dragons murmured meekly, Please do not hurt us. Timmy roared, Go back to the bottom of the river where you came from and never bother little boys in their PJs again. As he turned and picked up the little puppy waiting eagerly on the shore, he heard pleading voices behind him whimpering, Please do not hurt us. We will never scare little boys again. With a newfound sense of courage, little Timmy and his puppy marched through the dark woods, across the vast field, and up to the gray sycamore tree, where he saw the big black bat moth still resting. As he approached the tree, the bat moth laughed. I am going to snatch you and your little pup and feed you to my little bath moth chicks. Timmy remembered the magic of his words and said, You are nothing but a butterfly. And poof! Just like that, the black moth fluttered its wings and flew away. Timmy boasted, See, I knew you were nothing but a little butterfly. As Timmy was gaining his courage, he suddenly became aware of an evil presence lurking about him. It was a horrifying shadow ghost. The shadow ghost moaned, I am the Shadow Man, and for the rest of your life, little Timmy, I am going to haunt you and your worst nightmares. I will creep you and frighten you forever. One night, when you least expect it, I will snatch you from your bed and drag you to my dark cave deep below the earth, where other dark men and I will scare you forever. Once again, Timmy began bawling in fear, but the gentle sun whispered softly in his ear. Don't be afraid, little soldier boy. Remember, your words are magic. Stand up straight, Timmy. Timmy, still holding his puppy, threw his shoulders back and boldly spoke. Dark Shadow Man, disappear! The dark man laughed gleefully and danced about the dirt path, but soon he began shrinking before the astonished eyes of little Timmy. Timmy could barely hear the diminishing pleas of the Shadow Man. Help! I am vanishing! Help! Finally, the Shadow Man disappeared completely under the bright noon sun. Chapter 5. Family and Friends. Timmy breathed deeply and began walking back home, still holding his pup, when a big black she-wolf dog appeared from behind a dark green bush and growled, Give me the pup, or I will eat you. Timmy protectively demanded, No! What do you want with my pup? As the she-wolf dog growled and displayed its menacing fangs, Timmy invoked his magic. Big bad wolf, you are nothing but a little dog. And you are this lost little puppy's mother. And then poof! Timmy heard a dog whimpering and pleading, Please, little boy, return my little pup. Before Timmy was a small, curly, gray-haired labradoodle mother dog. Timmy released the puppy from his grasp, and it ran to its mother. The two dogs affectionately licked each other. The mother dog looked appreciatively at Timmy, and she tenderly walked her pup away behind the green bush from where Timmy heard the noises of other puppies barking in glee at the return of their little brother. When Timmy finally returned home after a day of fighting monsters and his deepest fears, he marched into the kitchen and assertively requested from his mother, Ma, I need a glass jar. What for? His mother questioned in surprise. Timmy declared, Because I will not be afraid of a purple bug. His mother responded, Well, Timmy, if you will be quiet about purple bugs, I suppose I can give you this glass jar. Be careful not to break it and cut yourself. Timmy promised his mom and entered the room where the purple bug was still on his wall. The purple bug laughed, I will eat you, Timmy. And Timmy said, Well, this jar is a zoo. He reached out his arm and carefully grasped the squirming beetle in his palm. Poof! He placed the purple bug in his jar. The purple bug cried and cried, so Timmy punched a small air hole in the lid with a small pick. Every day, Timmy would feed the beetle grass, but the bug would cry, Please, Timmy, let me go. One day, Timmy responded to the bug's pleas, You are my friend now. You used to be my enemy, but my words made you my friend. I will never let you go. Please, Timmy, said the bug. I want to be free one last time. No, said Timmy as the little boy cried and cried. But the bug asked Timmy how he would feel if he were put in a big glass jar, and then Timmy realized he could no longer keep his little friend a prisoner. So, Timmy opened the lid and released the bug. I am so tired. My legs hurt so much, whimpered the little bug. It crawled a little way and turned over on its back. Its legs desperately wiggled upward for a few seconds before suddenly ceasing, and then the bug froze up, became rigidly still, and died. Timmy cried desperately as he nudged the bug with his tiny fingers, but his little purple friend gave no response. You are not dead, cried Timmy, invoking his magic, but the bug would not move. Timmy began crying. Had his words failed him? Chapter 6. The Lonely Field. Gently cradling the bug in his palm, Timmy hurried down the hall and stepped outside into the nippy wind sweeping across the countryside. Clad in his purple t-shirt, he shivered in the brisk breeze while shouting at the heavens, Sun, you liar! Don't you try to hide from me! But just then, a silver cloud sailed across the face of the sun, concealing its brilliance from little Timmy. Timmy pleaded, Please, sun, return the magic to my words. However, the sun remained oblivious to little Timmy's pleas. As the winds strengthened, a gust pierced through Timmy's purple shirt, chilling him to the bone. Meanwhile, a legion of clouds began drifting across the heavens, gradually blanketing the entire sky. Timmy gazed upon the vast empty field before him, where the last of the leaves carried by the gentle wind descended slowly, hovering briefly before landing gracefully on the brown earth. Timmy, a lone soldier, stood underneath the vast, melancholic gray heavens before the muted yellow fields of grass and in front of the sycamore tree, now withered, barren, and bereft of leaves. Timmy felt as though he were the only creature in the whole world, only a lifeless purple bug as his sole companion. Chapter 7. The Messenger. Suddenly, a gust of wind circled about the landscape and whisked up to the little boy in the purple shirt and murmured into his pink, icy ears, "Timmy, Timmy." "Leave me alone, whoever you are," Timmy cried. "I want to be alone with my bug." "Timmy, why are you weeping?" Timmy protested. "Because the great big sun lied to me. My words are not magic, and I cannot bring back my little friend." Timmy opened his palm and showed the purple bug to the wind. The wind whispered, "The sun cannot hear you. The sun is resting on its throne behind his silver curtains. But I am here. Timmy, do you know who I am?" "Yes," Timmy replied. "You are the wicked wind. You make everything cold and sad, and you erase all the pretty colors from the world." Suddenly, the wind gathered its forces and blew so intensely that Timmy felt he would be whisked away into oblivion. But Timmy, securing his little purple friend in his firm palms, defiantly faced the fierce gushing winds that bellowed, "I am indeed the wind!" It announced, "Ha ha ha!" But it is not I who erases the colors or turns the land frosty and cold. I am the great messenger, my boy. Timmy looked confused. Messenger? What is that? The wind suddenly calmed and rustled, whispering, "The sun brings warmth and light, but I bring the messages." Messages? Timmy questioned. As the great wheel of the world spins, I arrive to tell all creatures that it is time for change. Time for the green fields to turn yellow. Time for the blue sky to turn gray. Time for little children to grow into men and women. Time for life to begin and time for life to end. I tell creatures when they must appear. Later I return to tell them it is time to depart. I tell birds when to move from north to south and south to north, and I tell the ships when it is time to set sail to a new horizon. I tell the trees when it is time to drop their fruit, and I tell the clouds when it is time to gather for a gentle rain, when to unleash a violent storm or to cast down their gentle flakes of snow. I inform the summer when to arrive and when to go so that autumn may come and cool the great earth, and then I return to tell the autumn it too must now depart, so winter may come and clear the earth of all that is old and lifeless. But one day, I shall return and tell the winter it too must depart, so that new life may arrive, and yellow can be green and gray can become blue, and death becomes life. Little Timmy, you could not keep the bug in a jar when it was alive, and now you must not hold on to the bug in its death. It is time to let the bug free. Timmy protested. But the bug is not dead. My words are magic, I can bring him back to life. Timmy, your words are indeed magic, but they cannot stop the great wheel of change. Timmy was confused. So my words have no power? The wind reassured him. Your words can have magical power. Just as when you threw the rock into the river and waves rippled far across the waters, words can sail through my breeze and reverberate through the entire world, changing scary beasts and monsters into beautiful friends. Words can make you afraid of the world, or fill the world with beauty and love. But now, you must say goodbye by using your words to honor your friend. Bury him in the ground, and then let him go. Timmy cried, "No, the Shadow Man will take him down to his dark cave." "No, Timmy," reassured the wind. "The Shadow Man only follows creatures when they walk, crawl, or grow on top of the earth. When creatures are buried in the ground, they belong to the earth, not to the shadows. One day, you may return to the burial ground to see some grass, a worm, or even a flower, and your friend will live on in these. So let your friend be free to join the larger world. Know that just as the sun shares its warmth and light with the world, your friend can share his life with all the creatures of the earth. But he can also live in you, in your memory, in your heart, and in your actions. My actions? asked Timmy. Yes, how you treat people, how you see people, how you share your love, how you act in kindness, and how you let go when it is time to say goodbye. Your friend is now part of you, but only if you let him be free from the prison of your selfishness and let him be part of the whole world. Did this beautiful creature not teach you to face the world with courage and love rather than living in fear? See, the greatest fear we have is not monsters and ghosts, but the fear of love, because when we love, it hurts us when we must say goodbye. Timmy queried, You mean like the yellow merboy who wanted to hit me with a stick? Yes, Timmy. When we lose someone we love, it hurts even worse than a blow by a stick. For this reason, many people around the great big world are afraid to love. But you chose to love those things that caused you the greatest fear, the dog, the puppy, and the purple creature. Imagine the joy you would never have experienced if you had been afraid to love these things. I must now leave and blow across other lands and places around the earth, and you must now go and honor your friend. Suddenly the air was still, and the landscape quiet. Chapter 8. The Purple Bug. In the silence, Timmy cried because he missed his little friend. And then wiping his tears back, he decided to honor the little creature. He picked up the bug and went into the backyard, where he built a small mound to bury his friend. Then Timmy used the magic of his words so that his friend could be free. Little purple friend, I will always remember you. You once lived in my jar, but now you belong to the whole world. Goodbye, little buddy. Timmy then buried the bug in the earth. About that time, the Shadow Man returned to Timmy's world, floated up to him and said, You think you can escape my presence? I will follow you for the rest of your life and scare you, ha ha ha. Timmy remembered his magic, how it had transformed the moth-bat, the she-wolf dog and its pup, and finally, how his words had made him love the purple bug. Shadow Man, you are not my enemy but my friend. Poof! The shadow shook about violently before resting in front of Timmy. The shadow moaned softly, Timmy, you have defeated me. I will never scare you again. For the rest of your life, I will follow you as your friendly and protective companion. Sometimes I will vanish, but I will always return to serve you. Wherever you go, we will always be together, and we will become the closest of friends. Timmy thanked the shadow and walked back to the house. As the brave boy returned, he saw sun rays stream through the clouds, his shadow diligently following by his side. He saw the empty gray sycamore tree where the moth-bat once rested. He saw the mother labradoodle behind the bush, taking care of her little pups, and up in the sky, he felt the sun in its majesty, shining its rays down through the silver clouds and upon the whole world, giving life and love to all creatures big and small. The end.